Today is the 21st of October 2022, about 2 days to my birthday. And I'm trapped somewhere in the city of Lagos because the governor of the state, in his wisdom, decided to impose curfew, giving residents only about 4 hours to respond, to find their way home. Knowing fully well the complexities of this city called Lagos with a population of about 20 million people, knowing how difficult it will be for people to move from the mainland to the island or island to the mainland with all the blockades as a result of the protests all over the place. So what happened is that people got trapped. You can't move. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get home or when I'm going to get home because I don't even know what is happening out there right now. I just came out to walk and boom, I'm trapped. Anyway, that is not why I'm making this video, because thank God I'm still alive. Some people are not that very lucky. Some people are dead today because of the rascality and the irresponsibility of the decision-making authorities in Nigeria. I did put out a video on Monday pleading passionately with the government to not use violence as a way to quell the protests, to please explore other means aside from violence. But obviously I knew they were not going to listen. I knew, because we operate in a society where it is the advice of the unintelligent that prevails. Oh yes, how do you explain it? Because if government takes advice from intelligent people, if they are thoughtful about the decisions that they make, the country won't be in this state in the first place. The youth won't have to be on the street. No, they won't. How do you explain a country where, we settle terrorists and we kill law-abiding citizens? I'm making this video for the people, for the international community, to be able to make sense out of the nonsense happening in Nigeria. Because I know if you're viewing Nigeria, like Nigeria is trending all over the world, if you're seeing Nigeria from outside this country, it won't even make sense to you that military men will walk up to unarmed civilians flying the national flag in protests and open fire on them and kill them. It won't make sense to you if you live outside Nigeria. But we in Nigeria, we know that's what they do. That's their area of specialty. We are their soft target. If you live outside Nigeria, you won't understand why we spend a huge chunk of our budget settling militants, terrorists, kidnappers, paying ransom, but shooting unarmed citizens. You won't understand it if you live outside Nigeria. So I'm just trying to help you make sense of the nonsense. The reason all these anomalies happen in my country, Nigeria, is because there's an industry known as the insecurity industry. Yeah, it's unofficial, but it's one of the most thriving industries in Nigeria. The insecurity industry. And this industry is dominated by government officials and their criminal collaborators. They are in partnership to undermine the progress of the country and milk the country dry. That is why there's no progress. And this industry is part of the reason the youths of this country are neglected. And let me give you a little insight into the insecurity industry. The insecurity industry is set up in such a way that if you're skillful enough to create enough insecurity in any section of the country, you can feed on it for the rest of your life. I repeat, if you're skilled enough to create insecurity in any section of the country, you can survive on that insecurity for as long as possible, as long as you have your government collaborators. Because what it means is that if you create insecurity, then governments at all levels will increase their security budget. Security budget is that budget that is unaccounted for, that government officials can just take and do whatever they like with it and nobody will ask questions. So security budget exists, because people create insecurity. And that is why government is unable to solve security problems. That is their core responsibility. The responsibility of government is protection of lives and properties. But they fail woefully since independence. And I'm not talking about just this particular government, even governments before them. The reason they have failed serially and woefully is because it's a thriving industry. They create this insecurity, they milk from it. So they create militancy, then they turn around and approve budget to settle militants. That way, them and their collaborators make money. So they create terrorism, call it Boko Haram terrorists, call it the unknown herdsmen, call it whatever name you choose to call it. They create these things, and as long as they exist, they keep milking from it. So while we spend a lot of our reasonable chunk of our budget settling armed groups, armed terrorists and militia groups, we leave the youths to go without. We spend more money settling armed militia groups than we spend on sports, youth empowerment and development. So what do we now do? Law enforcement agents who can get a chunk of it turn around and try to exploit the same youths that are already exploited. That is the insecurity industry in Nigeria. Now, these same youths that are neglected, that you can't promote their sports, you can't promote their endeavor, are left, the ones who don't have the courage to pick up arms and join any militia. They pick up their laptops and they go into cybercrime. Oh yes. So if you're abroad and you're wondering why there are too many Yahoo people in Nigeria, is when you can't join the insecurity industry, then you join cybercrime. Then the rest of the people who are not insane enough to join any of these groups flee the country to other parts of the world. It doesn't matter how insecure that part of the world is. The youths run away through the desert, through the ocean. Anyhow they can find their way, they get out of this country. So if you're watching what is playing out in Nigeria at the moment, with the attack unleashed by governments on innocent protesters, if you are watching it internationally, just expect more Nigerians to flee the country, to come into your shores, through the desert, through the ocean. They don't mind losing their lives, because if they stay here, they will get killed too by the military that are supposed to be protecting them. Yeah, that is what we have in Nigeria. So I'm just trying to help you guys overseas understand the kind of difficult situation that we are facing. The international community, I know you know this more than I do, because you have your embassies and you have your security operatives operating here, and they understand it. That is why Nigeria, despite the wealth that we have, abundant human material resources, we are not progressing, because a chunk of our budget goes into the insecurity industry perpetrated by government officials and their criminal collaborators. And when these youths who are left no other option, who just want to survive, when they come out on the street to peacefully protest, to say our country, just listen to us. Now, you will think that a government that has some educated people in that government will say, let us even try dialogue, let us try negotiation. Maybe let us set up a committee that will be accepting. They like to operate with committees. Set up a committee that will be acceptable by these young people. Send them to Lagos. Yeah, since they like committees, send that committee of their own delegation to Lagos. Choose a spot in Lagos, maybe a hotel. Get the media involved for live coverage. Maybe give the protesters ultimatum to say, select a few people amongst yourself to dialogue with our team. And in front of wall cameras, let us reach a truce. You would think that a move like that, somebody may think of it and it may work. At least open that channel for dialogue. No. What do? The same default setting of government. Impose curfew. Pull out the military. Open fire on innocent protesters. Kill people. Yeah, you want to open up the economy. Yeah, you think the protesters are frustrating, you're making money. So they have to be killed. You need their blood. You need to shed their blood to open up the economy. Wow, government, yeah, bright idea, very brilliant suggestion. Now that you have used force, now that the military has killed innocent protesters, soiled the land, spilled the blood of innocent children, I hope the economy has reopened. I hope you have been granted your wish. I hope you're happy. Both the people who imposed curfew and the people who sent the military. I hope you've achieved your result. I was expecting that by this morning, government will be beating their chest to say, oh, we dislodged them. We ended the protest. But I'm surprised you people are denying. You're not denying. You're not claiming you extended the curfew. Oh, you didn't send the military. Oh, it was not by us. The military also denied. Nobody is proud again to own it. But you have killed innocent people. You can no longer own your own responsibility. It's a shame. A society that continues to kill its young ones for no reason. I don't know how you're going to progress. If these protesters were armed groups, I bet you presidential jet would have been sent to pick their leaders to Abuja for a dialogue. By now, we'll be thinking how to accommodate them in the budget for settlement, training overseas. No, they're innocent Nigerians, no guns, not armed, holding and waving the national flag, asking their leaders, the same people who came to ask them for votes, to not listen to them. But what do they get? Get shot at like animals, massacred. The whole world is watching. And we will never forget. We will never forget. October 20th, 2020, we will never forget. May the souls of all those who fell in the cause of service to the fatherland continue to rest in peace. And to all those who are part of this killing, their blood is on your hands. We love this country. May God continue to save the Federal Republic of Nigeria.